Okay, guys. Alright. So, this is going to be my little spiel on how I feel about Junkrat. Again, I apologize for this version of a video, just because I don't have any video editing software on my computer right now, and I kind of want to get this out before this weekend. So, how do I feel about Junkrat? First of all, we're going to approach it kind of analytically at first. So, first of all, I just kind of want to go over the official changes for Junkrat, and I'll zoom in here for everyone. The only changes Junkrat technically got are changes to a steel trap. So one, it no longer prevents all movement from its target. This means if they get hit by trap, they can still move within the 2-meter radius until trap breaks. It doesn't root. It slows them by 65%. Now, I'm not exactly 100% verified on this, but slows do not stack in Overwatch. So much like stuns, where it's like this, the long, I believe it's whatever stun is longer gets affected first. The slowest slow gets affected. So you can't really combo this with other things to make it really slow. It still prevents movement abilities from being activated, so this counts for like Genji's dash, Tracer blinks, Tracer recall, stuff like that. This does not count Moira's fade or Reaper's wraith form. Those can be used and they can get out of trap easy with no damage. The damage says it is increased from 80 to 100. This may be truth, but in game right now it still does 80. It's not 100 damage. This is only good for this doesn't affect anything, except for you can have your concussive mine a little bit farther away, which we'll talk about in a second, to still deal damage killing damage to a 200 hit point hero. Right now, because of fall off, you need the concussive mine very close to it, but with 20 extra damage means I can probably get like a little bit farther away with concussive mine and still deal over 200 damage. Also, projectile speed is increased from 10 to 17. This is not a 70% increase in throw. I will show you side by side, and I will kind of let myself in my video from yesterday do the talking for me. All right. Sitting on the 0M, aiming at the bot. This is Overwatch 2. This is Overwatch 1. Throws it to 5 meters. 0M, bot's eye. So there you have it. That is the difference of 70% increased projectile speed. Because trap is so heavy, it literally only goes half a meter, quarter of a meter farther. It's not much. It went from 10 meters to 17 meters. I've obviously passed me as upset. I actually can't really tell. It's so minimal. So there you have it, a little bit farther each way. So yes, past me was quite upset. I can put myself in the corner again. And why I brought up concussive mine is concussive mine, while it's not on the changelog, has a new visual. Now this is a place where I would trap and mine and get kills with. So there it is without concussive mine. You see how it's blinking? Also, past me is very upset. I tested it, it is still not 100 damage. I hate you, Blizzard. So I'm upset because now concussive mine has a very big flashing light on it, and I assume they did this because of lighting and how important lighting is in Overwatch 2. The problem is that now a lot of my really cunning traps completely gone. People aren't going to miss a blinking mine. This is why it does help that trap does 20 extra damage, because now I can put mine a little bit farther away, so maybe they won't see it right away. but this really nerfs trap mine combos when you're using it very stealthy. You're gonna have to put trap, like you'll have to put the concussive mine on the ceiling now in low areas, a little bit higher up on the wall. You're gonna have to hide them a little bit better, but for the most part, it's a nerf. Now the other change to Junkrat, which is a big change, is if we go up to here. For those that don't know, armor now reduces all damage by 30%. Now, I think this change is great. This is a change I wanted in Overwatch for a while. I've always said the armor system's really dumb and it needs to be changed and make it meaningful. Now it's really meaningful, especially for large damage numbers. So as we get up, Soldier's a really good example. Soldier's damage reduction of 30%, I believe, takes them down to, it's just below 15, so it takes them to 14 damage. I'll put this little calculator here so people can see. Soldier does 20 damage a shot, does 14 damage a shot now. Before, he would do 15 damage a shot. So 20 damage is right around, we'll just say, where new armor and old armor kind of coincide, and anything higher than 20 damage is essentially a nerf, and anything lower than 20 damage is a buff. Especially for shotguns, because shotguns usually did under 10 damage, which means old armor would have reduced their damage by 50%. So shotguns got a big boost. People are complaining that Reaper feels weak. Reaper's actually stronger against armor now. Even though he got like a... what is it? I forget. He got hit 20% damage reduction. It went from 6 to 5. Because he does 108 damage. Or was it 7 to 6? I think it was 7 to 6. But either way, he's getting less armor reduction. For Junkrat, 120 damage means he does 84 damage a hit. This is a significant nerf to headshots and large damage dealers such as Hanzo, Widow, Junkrat, Pharah that really rely on this chunky damage. And I really liked it before because armor meant, hey, these heroes have extra utility and they're good against armor, while fast little easy shots are more affected by armor. And it really had this thing. In the beginning of Overwatch, I actually thought the heroes would be like, oh, you want one DPS that does big damage and one DPS that does little damage. One guy strips the armor and the other one really attacks the lowered armor. That never happened, and now we're at this. So this is a really big deal. You can't fight tanks. So Junkrat's damage from the armor one went from it's 5%. About, if you do what is it, 115 divided by 120, so yeah, about 4.2% damage reduction old armor to now a 30%. So against armored, you got a 25% damage nerf. These are all the big changes with Junkrat, at least the main ones I see. Of course, you got faster movement speed, yada yada yada. But with these changes, objectively, Junkrat is worse in Overwatch 2. You can't actually argue it. Everything about Junkrat is a little bit worse in Overwatch 2. His damage was nerfed, his trap was nerfed, his mine was nerfed. But does that mean he's a worse hero? As of right now, and understand this is quite biased of me, analytically, Junkrat's nerfed. I've been playing Overwatch 2 for 3 days now, and he feels good. But there's three really big points of, 4 points of biasness. One, quick play players right now are dog shit. I'm not trying to talk smack to most players, but they're just not good. I got a couple team wipes. I'm not saying I'm the best player out there, but for me to get a couple team wipes by myself without tire, like that's... in Overwatch 1, unheard of. In Overwatch 2, I've pulled it off a couple times in 3 days. So, pretty crazy. 2, no one's talking about this. 3 maps have been removed from Overwatch 2. And by that, I just mean 3 maps that you can play currently. I'll show everyone which maps they are. And you can take a guess at which maps they are. So if you try to create a custom lobby, and you've never played these games in the game currently, so here's all the maps. You will notice specifically they've taken out 3 primary maps besides 2 CP. Havana, Rialto, Junkertown. 3 maps that massively favor hit scan. And it's a very telling thing. There's 2 sides of Chro brain that's arguing here. Oh, and Busan, yes. And Busan. So, part of Chro brain says, well, yeah, these games or these maps really favor hit scan, so they're trying to balance them and make them better for everyone, so they're not in the pool right now. Other Chro brain says, oh, what a fucking coincidence. Blizzard wants everyone to enjoy the game no matter what hero they play, so they remove the maps that hit scan are good at because they don't want that to be a dominant option. So, when I'm playing Overwatch 2 right now, you have to understand everyone's kind of poopy in skill. Even the skilled people can't play on maps that hit scan are really good against, and hit scan is obviously a big issue for Junkrat. The third thing, everyone's kind of playing for fun and not optimal. A lot of the good tanks, I haven't seen D.Va much. D.Va is supposed to be still really good in Overwatch League. I haven't seen much Echo. I haven't seen much Pharah. No Sigma. All these heroes that are pretty good, people aren't playing optimal, and they're just playing to have fun, which is great for quick play. This is what everyone should be doing. But that means, how can I take my own opinion seriously when I'm not going up against this? The fourth thing that is a personal bias. As an old gamer, one of the oldest gamers out there, I come from Quake. And funny, Quake, or Jeff Goodman, he's like, I come from Quake too. And I'm like, get your name out of your fucking mouth, Jeff. Don't you take my game and put it in your dirty mouth. I am a Quake player at heart, which means I like duels. I like going on a flank and dueling. Lo and behold, I'm a Junkrat player. What does Overwatch 2 value now? Going on a flank and dueling. So for me personally, hell yes. I love the direction that this is going. So, with all of these biasness and these random factors to take in, how do I feel about Junkrat? Overall, he's doing terrible by the numbers, but in gameplay, he's doing very good. I've adopted, a normal Junkrat style of holding down the flank, throwing down a trap, and if anyone wants to come in to fight me, I'll fight them. I have the advantage on a flank and indoors. If a tank comes in, I use my extra movement speed to run away. Flanking's really good. You can come out of a flank, just kill someone really quickly, burst them down. Burst damage is king right now, especially on low hit point target heroes. So all of the general changes, and with 5v5, the biggest change that I'm saying with 5v5 is that if a tank wants to deal with you, then a tank comes on the flank and deals with you. You just run away. Now, the rest of your team, which has a tank, is going up against 4 players that do not have a tank. This is a really, really big imbalance point for the enemy team, and it gives your team a significant advantage. So, as long as you run away from tanks, Junkrat's doing fairly well in Overwatch 2. Don't try to take these bad matchups. Just run away. Use that extra movement speed they give you to get out. It's a fun way to play, and it's an effective way to play. Is it going to be good? Well, we also have to take a look at this. McCree lost his stun. You can actually kill him by the time his magnetic mine goes off. You'll notice that a second will allow you to kill him. Hanzo lost 5 damage on Storm Arrow, so now he can't just headshot you and body shot you to kill you. He has to either headshot you twice or headshot, body shot, body shot. Again, it gives you a half a second, so you can actually get your projectile to the enemy to kill them. And a wash is fine. If both heroes are dead, that's okay. That works. It's a bad trade. It's a trade. It's not as bad as dying and them living. Tracer got damage nerfed. I don't consider Echo getting nerfed at all, but she got nerfed a little bit. Either way, the heroes that are really good against Junkrat are a little bit less strong, and this makes it a little more fair when dueling them on the flank. So, Junkrat's feeling pretty decent right now. My opinion may change immensely once skilled players start playing the game, and we start getting optimal picks, and we get the hit scan maps back in the pool. I think he will need something. I think he's playable right now, but I think he's weaker than most other heroes. What does he need? Trap received just a pretty significant nerf. Let me get you a very good clip. Aquamarine made a very good video on this, so I will just play that so everyone can kind of see it. Can I increase this? So trap lasts for 2.85 seconds.
It stops enemies from moving, but rather it just slows them down until you walk far away.
So normal movement speed, 1.71 seconds. You slow down.
Trap. Now you can't use any of your movement abilities.
With Lucio, it's less. Hammond, when he's rolling, 1.6 seconds. When he's rolling fast, 0.6 seconds. Also, he had Lucio boost. So, Trap is essentially, for a 10-second ability, it's the worst ability in the game. It's not in a good spot. So we'll have to see where it kind of goes from there. If they do the April Fool's patch where they give Junkrat more traps, that would work. If they made Trap bigger, that could work as well. I would like 130 damage because they would really solidify his place as like a burst damage carry. Right now at 120, a couple other heroes do 120. If Junkrat had 130, he could actually fight against the 250 hit point heroes a lot better. And for someone, Junkrat is the most inaccurate hero or inconsistent hero in the game. Trap is there to give him some consistency. If they lowered the cooldown to like 5 or 6 seconds with one trap, maybe that would be better. But at 10 seconds, even though it feels a little snowbally, having 3 traps out, essentially he needs the ability to deny area and give him an advantage in a place that he's set up at. Because currently against other heroes, and this does have the 10% movement speed again, it's harder to hit other DPS heroes now because they're moving faster. It's a tough spot. If I had one suggestion to Blizzard, and this would be the biggest buff you could ever give Junkrat, besides just 50 extra health, like give him 50 armor so he doesn't die to Widow shots, would be nice. If Concussive Mine disabled passives for 2 seconds, he would have a really good chance against Pharah and Echo and Mercy and Lucio. These nimble heroes would lose their passives, and Junkrat could really hunt him down at that point. The nice part is there would be counterplay, because if Junkrat disabled their flying, Echo can still use the dash to get away, and Pharah can still use her jet boosters to get away with those. So it wouldn't like... They would still have some ability to navigate this issue. I still think hit scan is going to be Junkrat's biggest issue by far on a lot of these maps. With one less tank, it's going to be very dangerous, even if you're just chilling on the flank. Only thing you can really do for that is just extra health. But they really took a lot of his cool combos away. The trap mine in unique places is now gone because of the flashing. He needs something. He lacks a true role in Overwatch. With large areas, with large areas, his AoE denial is now just kind of a joke. In fact, Sojourn with her one ability can lock down a flank for like 4 seconds or 5 seconds, however long it lasts. Li Jing control tower, I think it is. She can just launch one of the slows on the flank, and no one can go through that ever. He just doesn't have an identity. That's the problem. That's my biggest issue with Junkrat. It doesn't have an identity. With the increased movement speed, he's a worse duelist now. With the reduced damage against armor, he's not that good against tanks because of the armor reduction. He's never been that good at breaking shields, right? With reload, Junkrat only does 128 DPS against shields. You look at someone like Echo, who does 120 damage DPS wise, because she has a big clip size and same reload as Junkrat, so she gets more efficiency. And Junkrat is more inconsistent, so it's a little bit rough. And she gets headshots, but Echo's a different story. So it's like, all right, he's not the best shield breaker. He's not the best duelist. He's not the best against armored heroes like he was before. His area denial ability is a little bit minimized because maps are all bigger. What do you do? What is his role? The only thing Junkrat has going for him is the combo of Concussive Mine and Primary. In fact, that's all he has going for him in Overwatch 1 as well. That is his big unique thing. He can do 240 damage near instantly. It's a bit inconsistent, but you can still do it. Well, is that enough to carry him into Overwatch 2? Maybe, but it doesn't feel fun. It doesn't feel engaging. It doesn't give him an identity, really. So, in the beta, for the near future, I think Junkrat in Overwatch 2 beta, it's going to be just fine. If we're looking long term, I think he's going to run into issues when people start playing properly and start getting accurate. As soon as they start dealing with him, and as soon as they start dealing with the idea of flanking a lot, he's going to lose a lot of viability. But you can still whoop a lot of ass. That's it. Those are my feelings. That's how I feel.